We chose our name Daystar based on our faith
and wanted to incorporate it into our business by being a light bringer in the communities we serve.
It is our mission to staff our dealerships with employees with extremely high character, integrity, a servant mentality, and a spirit of excellence that is designed to deliver the best experiences to our customers in both our sales and service departments.
From our ownership to management and our entire staff, everyone is here to help you along the way. So don't hesitate to call, and we hope to see you soon. Congratulations from our family to yours.
We are Daystar.
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 Welcome back to another Daystar Ford Coaches Corner show. We are in week number 2. I'm your host, Kevin Sleds. With me, as always, my co-host, Derek Dimmitt. How are you tonight, Derek?
I'm doing pretty good. Just picked my son up from flag football practice, so starting him young.
There you go. All right, so last week we had Waterloo coach Nate Broad. We thank him for coming on. But week 2, this week, we've got Crestwood Red Devils football coach Jack D'Amato. Jack, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, guys. Kevin and Derek, you guys do a great job, and obviously, I'm excited to be here.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
So obviously, a tough loss to start the season to a very good Mogador team. Just talk about the positives you took away from that game, and just about this year's squad overall.
Yeah. Obviously, Mogador. Credit to them. They are consistently. Just a great program, and Coach Adorni does a great job over there. They tackle really well. They block really well. They did some things differently than we saw on film, which is to be expected. I know he said on Friday that the Friday before the last Friday that he was, trying to figure things out. And I think we're still in that same spot where we're trying to figure out, who fits where. And, this is the biggest roster we've had in quite a little while. So, we got guys competing for spots, and, some injuries and things have popped up, and we're just trying to, fill all the pieces and try to make it cohesive going forward.
All right. So talk a little bit about your coaching career for those who don't know you very well. Just talk about how you got started in coaching high school football, and then how you eventually ended up at Crestwood.
Yeah. So basically I've been at Crestwood my entire career. I've never been anywhere else coaching wise. I started off in our youth program with the Mighty Mites. I think I have 2 guys now that are seniors that were with me back then. A buddy of mine, Rich McIntyre, reached out to me. He was coaching, at the time, I think the vice president or the president of the organization at that point. And he's like, man, we need a coach. Your daughter's cheering. You want to do it? And I said, yeah, I'll try it. Why not? Let's see what happens. And kind of history from there. I was with the youth program for 2 years, and then Nate Peters was hired 2 or 3 years. Sorry. And then Nate Peters was hired as the head coach in 2017 at Crestwood High School. And he was looking for assistant coaches, and kind of worked out for me that I was able to do that. And, I moved into that role as an offensive line coach in 2017, 2018, 18 and 19. I was the defensive coordinator. And then 2020, Nate had stepped away, and their opportunity presented itself, and I was able to, interview and get the job.
So worked your way up the ranks.
Yeah, right up the ladder, I guess, through, from Mighty Mite football at, kindergarten to second grade, all the way up to now high school head coach.
Good stuff.
And Coach, how would you describe your coaching style on the sideline?
I'm very big into leadership in everything that I do, and I think that I try to treat it as more of a CEO type role for myself. I'm not heavily involved in I shouldn't say I'm not heavily involved. I am heavily involved in both sides of the ball, in the game planning and everything that goes on there. But I kind of want my coordinators to do their job and let them have the freedom. And then they come to me and we finalize the plan and get it out to the rest of the staff. But, I try to let those guys lead because, they're in it and they're passionate about it. And I want to, there's so many other things that I do day to day as a head football coach, whether it's, being with the middle school or the youth programs, talking to those guys, helping the coaches out, fundraising. It's you are a CEO, true CEO as a high school head coach. And I don't think people realize the amount of other things besides coaching football that go into actual coaching football. You're ordering gear, you're, helping team moms plan dinners. There's a lot of other things that happen every day that, a lot of people just assume that I guess, get done.
All right, that kind of leads into the next question with that balance with home life and work, of course, running Blasio's Pizza and then coaching football during the football season. How do you balance all that out?
It's about being smart with your time, and that I try to block out different time periods that I am at the shop. Running the shop, I have a great team here. They do a lot of stuff where I don't really have to do a whole lot. I just check in on them and make sure they're good to go and on the right path. And then from there to the field house I go, and at there I'm kind of doing the same kind of thing. Make sure these guys are on the right track, that we have the same thoughts in mind. We're really big on culture and what we believe in, and I think that's our assistant coaches do a good job of upholding those standards. So that makes my time a little easier. So we're not we're into year 7, I believe now. So with me as a head coach. So the guys have been around, they understand, the guys have been through our program, they understand what we believe in and how we act, and how we represent Crestwood football. And, then you got the family time as well. And my daughter's a senior, she's a cheerleader, she's in dance, we're a family that's always running, always doing something. So there's not a whole lot of, time just hanging out at home, because, Fridays we're at the varsity game. Saturdays I'm at JV. Sunday I'm usually at youth games throughout the season. So it's a full-time job just doing that.
Yeah. So when you are able to carve out a little bit of time, Coach, what are some of your hobbies or interests away from the football field and some of those other things that you have going on, like you just mentioned?
Sure. Yeah. I got a lot of little things that I'm interested in. Leadership obviously is one of those things. I spend a lot of time studying and reading and listen to podcasts and talking with other, leaders, and try to, figure out, you're always learning. So I guess trying to make the best version of yourself. I also enjoy fishing, watching the Buckeyes and the Browns, and when I have a chance, but it's not very often that I do, because, with JV on Saturdays and then game planning all day Saturday and trying to get myself ready to go into those meetings with our coaches. And then Sunday youth football is from noon until 6. So I try to at least stop in and see those guys, just because I think it's important for them to, feel that, we care and we want to be a part of their lives as well.
All right. So we are into week 2. This Friday, you've got a big home game coming up against the Garfield G-Men, a fellow Portage County team. Just kind of preview that one, and just what you guys are thinking going into that one.
So it's going to be an old school battle. It's a rivalry game for us and them. And, the last time we played them was 2019. So it's been a while. Excited to be able to play them, next year in the conference, but to be able to do this one out of conference is pretty good for us. We both run the single wing offense. We, similar style defenses. There's a little different, but, it's going to be they're going to know our calls. We're going to know their calls. It's the same kind of stuff. We saw them over at a Glacier Clinic down in Cincinnati in February, their staff. So they were there getting ready just like we were, so I think a mutual respect. They have a great program, man. They, the last 10 years, I think they've made the playoffs and had, some good runs, and they block really well. They tackle really well. They have 11 dudes to the football almost every time. I mean, they do the right things right. And when you think about, what you want your program to look like, you think about the Garfields, you think about the Mogadors, the Kirtlands, the guys that are on our schedule that we get to see. And how do we take that next step to be something, to build something in that fashion?
You mentioned starting the rivalry back up. I think everyone's looking forward to the Greater Portage Athletic Conference starting.
Yeah, I think Friday is going to be an insane environment. I think it's going to be the most people that our kids have ever played in front of. With the two neighboring schools, we have our youth night that night as well. So there's gonna be all the young guys running around and the cheerleaders out on the track and stuff. So it's exciting. And we're really looking forward to bringing that back, almost every week next year once we get into the league.
Definitely looking forward to covering it Friday.
Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap it up, we got some fun and rapid fire questions for you. So
okay.
If you're ready, we'll
yeah.
Get that one. All right. So, besides being a football coach, what would be your dream job?
Honestly, I live my dream every day. So I'm a pizza shop owner and I'm a football coach, and it's really what I wanted to do. As I grew up, I realized, my love for restaurants came from my dad and football as well. And it's, I get to live my dream every day. So I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing.
Nice.
Coach, are you more of a dog person or a cat person?
I would say a dog person for sure. I got 2 dogs at home, and they're getting a little older, but I'm more of a dog person, I would say.
All right, I'm going to modify this next one a little bit.
Okay.
You a hot dog, burger, or pizza?
Yeah, I'm a pizza guy. I don't get to look the way I do without loving pizza. So I'm, Blasiola's Pizza. Obviously, I'm going to give myself a little shout out here because the best pizza in Portage County, I'd say. But I eat pizza quite often. People always ask, "Do you get sick of it?" And it's something that I just seem to never get sick of.
So, second part of that, what's your favorite toppings?
I've been torn. I used to be a pepperoni banana pepper guy, and then now I've been going with the pepperoni pineapple recently, which is controversial. I think in the pizza world, especially, people are like, "Man, what are you doing?" But it's a nice mix.
Yeah, give it some of that sweetness.
That's right.
Some spice from pepperoni.
Yep.
Dream vacation.
I really enjoy. I have a buddy that owns another pizza shop in town, and we spend some time doing some fishing trips down in Florida. I like doing that. My family went to Italy back in 2018, 17, and that was a great time as well. I mean, if I can, be able to be in the sun, I think I'm pretty happy.
There you go. All right. How about your biggest fear or phobia?
I don't like heights. I would say it has to be heights. I'm the kid that all the rest of the class went to, I think it was Jogga Lake at the time in 6th grade for some kind of science thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this day off of school. So I'm not a heights guy, trying to be a tough guy, in 6th grade. And but yeah, heights definitely would be what my biggest phobia is. Fear.
I can relate there.
Yeah,
me too. Yeah, I prefer to be on the ground.
Yeah, same.
So, Coach Brode was with us last week, and then victorious. So far, if you're on the coach's corner, you're undefeated. So
that's
hope
a good
that
thing.
That continues Friday night.
Yeah, we'll see how it all shakes out. Obviously, like I said, Garfield, they run a great program, and they have some spectacular athletes that do a really good job, and they're bought into that program. And we're just hoping to be able to compete, every Friday night, but this one in front of the big crowd, and be able to, hopefully work out some of those kinks throughout the week in practice here, and then, put it all together, hopefully on Friday night.
So we all know your favorite restaurant is Blasiola's.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your next favorite behind blocks?
Oh man, I really enjoy steak. It's I don't know. Arnie's is good in Ravenna. That's a nice little local spot with some good steak. There's some places throughout the country that I've eaten that have some great steak, and pizza. Obviously, pizza is still one of my top ones. So if I can, have a good pizza anywhere, I'm pretty happy guy.
All right. How about morning person or night owl?
I'm a mix of both. I don't sleep a whole lot. I sleep probably about 4 to 5 hours a night. So on a good night. So I would say more of a morning person. I'm up and doing stuff, but not always as late as some of the other guys. I guess I'd be more of a morning guy.
All right, and then finally, how about your favorite band or musical artist?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I like a lot of different things. Metallica is always a top one for me. I like Kanye West, Zach Bryan. So I have a big, mix of different artists that I like, and it just really depends on the mood.
Okay. All right. So to Crestwood fans and Portage County football fans, what can they expect to see from the 2026 Crestwood Red Devils on the field?
I think you're going to see guys that are going to compete. I think they're gonna fight every second they get an opportunity to, and win, lose, or draw. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for them to compete, to give us their best effort every single play. We have a couple different things we say throughout the course of our stuff, and it's necktie mentality is one of the things, and we just talked about that tonight with our youth kids at their practice, and it's always attacking and never full, like a great white shark, that kind of thing. So we gave them little helmet stickers with the necktie mentality for some of the youth kids that had good performances, or captains came out and gave that tonight. So that's what I want to see. I want to see us attack inside the classroom and the weight room and the practice field and on the game field, and eventually that will transfer into being able to attack life, because obviously we all know life isn't all roses and sunshine. You have to be able to have some mental fortitude to be able to get past some things in life, and that's the kind of stuff that we're trying to teach these young men.
All right, good stuff. Well, once again, we appreciate you hopping on with us for a few minutes.
Thank you, guys.
Wish you the best of luck Friday, and I'll see you then.
Sounds great. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Coach.
Thanks.